Hi there, how you doing? I hope you're well. Welcome to the second video in a short little series of videos that I'm making on a program I wrote to animate your handwriting. I did this in Python using pygame. In the first video I showed the program doing its thing, writing different things up onto the screen. I'll leave a link in the description below to that video. In this video I thought I would just show how to use that program. So let's get started. So what you can see at the moment is just a very basic little program. So if we run it, you can have a look. It just produces a black screen which we can quit out of. So let's just run through what this does. So it imports pygame, just importing it as PG to make it a little bit shorter. Then I set the screen dimensions 900 by 600 in this case. I initialize pygame. I set the screen up. I set a caption for the screen, which is just Handwriter demo, and then there's just a little loop which is just waiting for a quit event. So that could either be pressing a key or closing the window. So if we have a look how we do this, I set running equal to true, and then while running, and then I loop through all of the event gets, and then I check if any of those are either a key down or a quit event, and if they are, I set running equal to false, and then we'll drop out of this while loop and then quit pygame. So that's all this program does. So what I'm going to do now is just show how easy it is to just get some handwriting going. So the first thing I need to do is to import Handwriter, which is the module that I wrote. So we just need to do from Handwriter, which is the name of the Python code, import, and then the class is Handwriter, capital H and capital W. And then if I run that now, nothing's changed, we've just imported it. But what we can do now is we can have a look at the help in the console. So let's have a quick look over here. So if I go help Handwriter, you'll see the doc string for this. So it's quite long. We won't go through all of this. So when I make this available and you're using it, you'll be able to look through all the commands here. Actually looks more complicated than it is. Okay, so we've imported Handwriter. So the next thing we want to do is we want to make an instance of this Handwriter class. So let's put that here. So we'll put this after we've initialized everything. So let's call it HW equals Handwriter. So we're going to make an instance, and what we're going to pass in here is the screen. So this is the argument that we need to pass in so that it knows onto what surface to do the handwriting. And so now we're going to write something. So to do that, let's define where we want to write it. So we're going to define a variable top left, and let's put that at 200, and let's write some text. So what's the text we want to write? Let's write something like hi there, this is a demo of Handwriter. Okay, so you'll note that I've put this R in front of the string, and that just means that this is a raw string. So that's the text. So to write that text onto the screen, so all we need to do is to call the write text method of Handwriter. So HW, which was the instance, dot write text, and the origin position, which is top left. And so when we do that, this should now write that text. So let's have a look. And there you can see it. It's writing out the text. Hi there, this is a demo of Handwriter. and I just will close it now. Okay, so let's now change the text. I'll grab some text from my snippets file and let's just overwrite this to Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and we'll make that bigger. So we just use the point size keyword argument. We'll set that to 40 and let's put it up in the top corner. So we'll set that to 50, 50. Remember in pygame the top left corner is 0, 0, with X going from left to right and Y going from top to bottom. So let's run that and see what we get. So there it is, it's up in the top corner. Mary had a little lamb. You can see the text box width is quite narrow. Its fleece was white as snow. Okay, so let's change the width of the text box. So the default text box is quite narrow. So let's make that bigger. So that's another keyword argument. So what we want to do here is we'll change the text box width. So let's get up here. So that should be a comma. So text box width, we'll set that to 800. And let's have a quick look at that. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Okay, so that's now made the text box a little bit wider. So now let's have a look at something else. So you note that when we run this, there's a pencil that is being animated. And you can change that cursor quite easily. So all you need to do is change here the cursor type. That's another keyword argument for the write text method. So let's change that. So cursor type, let's go to a crosshair. So there's 4 built-in ones, well 5 built-in ones, including the pencil. So this is now the crosshair cursor. So if we have a look at this now, you'll see that there's a crosshair that's tracing it out. We can change that to a circle. So that's a little circle. We can change that to a square. That's a bit boring, I won't show that one, it's just a square. Let's have a look, there's also an arrow. There's a little arrow. The default is the pencil, although you can also explicitly pass it as the argument, or if you just leave it out, it will default to that, so we can leave that out. And the other thing you can do is you can set up a custom cursor, so you can use any image you want. To do that, you pass cursor image, which needs to be a pygame surface. So let's pass it, I don't know, let's call something banana. So let's up here load an image, which we're going to call banana. So let's do that. So we'll put up here a load. So this loads an image from a graphics folder called banana png. Convert alpha is what you want to do when you load things in pygame. It kind of optimizes it for display pygame. And I've had a play around with the size of this, and to make it look sort of the right size, I transform it to 20 by 24 pixels, seems to be about the right size. And this should now give us a banana cursor. So let's have a little look. Yep, and sure enough, there's a banana cursor tracing out the thing. So you can use any image you want. So let's go ahead and just get rid of that. We've had enough bananas, and we'll get rid of that. So that should just take us back to the pencil. The other thing we can easily change is the speed. So when you don't set any speed, it goes at what I think is kind of a normal handwriting speed, or you can change it using the speed multiplier keyword argument. And so let's slow it right down. So 0.25 means that it's only going at 25% of normal speed. So let's have a quick look at that. And you can see that is really slow. Or we can go faster. So let's go at twice normal speed. So we'll set the speed multiplier to 2. And you can see that that whizzes through pretty fast. If you just want the text to, the handwriting to appear instantly, you can use another keyword, which is instantly, and just set that equal to true. That's useful if, for example, you're debugging something and you don't want to watch it write it out. You can just set it instantly equals to true, and you basically get the text appearing straight away without any animation. And there might be some other reasons you might want that to happen. We'll get rid of that now. So let's add some colors to it. Let's just change our text to something else. Another little string here, which I've got in my snippets. So this is some multicolored text. Okay, so let's say we want to make the word this blue. The way we do that is we wrap it in a blue command. So the format here is you use \blue, so the color, and then whatever is inside the curly brackets will be blue. And let's say we want to make the word sum cyan. So we just go cyan brackets, and let's say we want the multicolored to be orange, and let's say the writing to be magenta. So let's have a look at that, see if that works. And maybe we'll go up to, just to make this a bit faster so we don't have to watch it write out really slowly, we'll increase the speed multiplier up to 2. And so this is some multicolored writing. Okay, so there we've got some multicolored writing. So the colors that you can use at the moment are in this list here. These are just common colors. So they're all the ones that are implemented at the moment. The other thing you can do is you can make the handwriting bold. So that just makes the line width that it's drawing with a little bit wider. Let's say we want to make the word this blue and bold. So all we need to do is we can wrap that in a bold command like that. Or you could do it the other way around, it doesn't really matter. So you could do bold first and then blue. We just have to do the blue first. So let's say that is bold, and then let's make this bold as well, the word multicolored. So that should now mean that we're going to get a thicker line width for the word this and multicolored, which will render a sort of a bold effect. Let's have a quick look. You can see here, sure enough, that's worked. And there's also underlining. Let's underline the word is, just because that doesn't have any formatting. So the way we do that is we use the underline command. So that's \, then the word underline, then curly brackets around the thing you want to underline. So now you can see that the word is underlined. So let's change the text to something else. I'll just grab something from my snippets file. So let's remove this string and change it to more text to show some other cool formatting effects. So let's say we want to make the word text here a little bit smaller. Now we saw before that we can change the point size in the call to the write text method. So that sets the size for everything. And if we want to change a word or some words within that, we can use another embedded command. So the two commands are smaller. And let's say we want to make the word cool bigger. So we can use the bigger command. And actually, let's just make it more obvious. Let's do this twice. So we're going to make this more noticeable. So we're going to go 2 lots of smaller and and 2 lots of bigger on the text. So this should make the word text smaller and the word cool bigger. So let's have a little look at that. So you can see here, yep, so it's made the word text smaller and the word cool bigger. Let's now do some super and subscripts. Another bit of text, so subs and supers. So obviously there are some things here that I want to make subscripted and superscripted. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually, if we run this, you'll see that it looks just like that, just a handwritten version of the text. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put a line break before the E in E equals MC squared or MC2. So the way I can do that is I can just use \n, which is a new line. Actually, I don't need to put a space there. So \n should give me a new line. There it is. And now I want to add some supers and subs. So the 2, to make it E equals MC squared, I need to make that a super. So \super, curly brackets around the 2. First, the S and the T should be superscripted, so let's do that. Similarly for the second, whoops, super, N and D. H2O, that's a sub. And then, just to be a bit fancy, I wanted to make a sub and a super. So let's say we wanted this N to be subscripted and the Y to be a power. So superscripted. We should have something like that. Let's have a look if that's worked. Yep. So you can see here we've got the MC squared, first, second, H2O, X, N to the Y. Okay, so let's now play around with the speed of the writing within a sentence. So the speed multiplier here changes the overall speed for the writing, and sometimes it's useful to be able to change the speed within a sentence. So the first thing we'll do is we'll get rid of that, speed multiplier equals 2, which is just speeding everything up. We'll just remove that. So the default is just normal speed. And let's grab another little bit of text from my snippets file. So I'm going to just put in a new text here, which is which is messing around with the speed of the writing mid-sentence, dramatic pause, wait for key press. So if we run this now, everything will just be running at normal speed. I haven't got any effects in here yet. So it'll just write this out. So there will be no dramatic pause yet, and there'll be no waiting for key presses. So let's implement that easily. Okay, so let's say we wanted to change the speed at which around was written, and let's say we wanted to slow that down, so we can go half speed. So that's effectively making the speed multiplier 0.5, but just for this word, around. And let's say we wanted to speed up writing mid-sentence, so we'll use the command double speed, and that's like making the speed multiplier equal to 2 for that particular bracketed bit of text. To put in a pause, we just need to use the \p command. So that'll be then dramatic, and then there'll be a pause of about a second or so before the word pause is handwritten. And to make the program wait for a key press, we just use the \w for wait. So wait for key press, I guess we want to put it here. So that's wait. So let's see how that goes. So messing around. Now you can see the around is slow. And that's normal again. And then that was the double speed phrase. And then the dramatic pause. There it was. And then waiting for a key press. It's just going to wait until I press the key. There I go, press the key. Now continue. Cool. So if you wanted to make a longer pause, you could put another P there. So that's a double pause. So Let's watch this again quickly. So that's slow. And that was the fast bit. So this should be now a longer pause. Yeah, that was twice as long. Okay, so let's move on to some special symbols. So let me grab another bit of text. Okay, so let me now put some arrows in here. So if I wanted to have an up arrow, I would use \U for up. East would be, I guess, going to the right arrow. South is down. West is, whoops, west is going left. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that's the compass directions. That's a bit slow. Let's speed this up. Otherwise we're going to be here forever. Let's make this up arrow gold and bold. So we'll do \gold, \bold. I'm a poet, I don't know it. And we'll make the right, let's make that magenta and bold. And let's make the down arrow lime and bold. And let's make the left arrow red and bold. So red, bold. Right, so we should have some fancier looking arrows now. And I'll just show you some other built-in symbols. Stands out a bit better. There you go. If you're feeling sad or bored, learn Python. You'll soon be happy, or soon feel happy. Okay, so we just want to put in some smiley faces here. So let's put those in at the right places. So if you're feeling sad, so that's \S. Bored was \B. Learn Python, I guess that could be excited. And then happy will be that. So let's have a look. That should give us our smiley faces. There we go. You'll soon feel happy. Let's just make one of them bigger. So let's make the happy bigger. So we'll change that to bigger. So that should make the happy face a little bit bigger. So I've just used the bigger. Let's have a quick look. Yep, so it's got bigger. So that's that. Okay, so let's say we wanted to put an equation in. So let me just cut some more text from my snippets file. So this might be useful if you're doing a lecture or some tutorial or something and you want to be able to put some maths equations in. And this is based on LaTeX typesetting. So here's the sentence. The quadratic equation is blah, the solution is blah. I want to change those blahs to some equations. So the way I do that is I use a $sign to start a LaTeX equation in this, and so I'm going to do the quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. So that's just a, and then in the normal LaTeX way you write the squared like that, plus b plus c. You don't need to worry about the spaces because the LaTeX will take care of that. So let's just have a quick check that that's working. Quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c. You see it doesn't actually write that. That was a bridge too far for me to try and code the equation being written. It just appears, but that's probably okay for some applications. You do need to have a LaTeX installation on your computer somewhere, but I guess if you're interested in this, you would anyway. Let's put the solution on a new line, and to do that, the notation in this program is to use a £. So this is not standard LaTeX notation. It's just what I have used to make life a little bit easier for the coding. So tells LaTeX that we want a fraction, and then there's the bit. So let's just run that. I won't go into the details of the LaTeX because if you're interested, you probably know it anyway. And the solution is, there it is, x equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let's say we want to embellish this a little bit. So let's say we want to make that quadratic equation pop out, and let's make that lime. That's a nice bright color. And let's say we want to add a few new lines. So we'll do /n to force 2 new lines. Let's say we want the solution to be magenta, and let's also make it bigger. So we've got magenta and bigger. So I think if I put that here, and then I'll need 2 closing parentheses, and then we should be good. Let's have a little look at that. So I think that's a good place to stop. So see you later.